Thanksgiving Eve, I have been notified. Bad Tiki makes a very special Wednesday appearance coming up at 4:30.
Did we have to pay him extra?
Yes. Yes, we did. We got a lot to get to today. Tiki Barber will tell us once and for all if Juan Soto is going to be traded during the offseason. The New York Giants are playing one of the most important games they've ever played in the history of their franchise. But I have to be honest as we approach Friday afternoon at MetLife Stadium, where we all know that the Jets are playing for their playoff lives. That's obvious. If you still hold out hope of them going on some kind of run and Aaron Rodgers coming to the rescue, they need to beat the Miami Dolphins. But there's something else on the line on Friday afternoon at MetLife Stadium, and I will be in the building taking my oldest son, dressed in Jet gear. Our pride is on the line. Because as I've gotten older, Tiki, and I have gotten wiser, my hatred, and I want to keep this in mind, it's a sports hatred. It's not real-life hatred. It's sports hatred. My sports hatred for the Miami Dolphins.
The Dolphins?
And everything about that franchise.
What?
From its dopey head coach to its disgusting fan base.
What are you talking about?
I can't stand them.
They're sunning themselves half the time.
Sunning themselves. So besides the playoff implications, which are obvious, Jet fans, we cannot lose to that franchise. We cannot have Mike McDaniel and his hipster, I'm drug high, dude. Hey, guys, what's going on? We can't have them and their obnoxious fans walk into our building, take over, and embarrass our team. So besides the playoff implications, which is obvious, Tiki, I can't stand this franchise.
Can I, take a side for a second? Is this a symptom of you watching Hard Knocks last night and realizing the in-season Hard Knocks, for those who missed it, started last night? It's the Miami Dolphins, and you got to look inside the Miami Dolphins, and the quirkiness that you're talking about with Mike McDaniel is kind of endearing. It's kind of cool, especially when you know it's intentional, that he's that way on purpose. He's not like really, I mean, maybe he is kind of really a nerd, but he's doing it to manipulate you emotionally as an observer, but I think also his team. I think he wants to keep his team off balance, which in your mind feels so different than what we saw from Robert Saleh in his stint as the head coach on Hard Knocks in the preseason. Is that where this comes from?
If you're asking me would I prefer Mike McDaniel over Robert Saleh, the answer is obviously yes. Bring him in. I'll take him. I'll take his, hey, dudes, what are we doing today? Hey, Tua, throw the ball that way. It's not about that. Here's what it's about. I put out a poll earlier today, and that poll repudiated me. That poll said, Evan, you don't really know what you're talking about. It was very simple. It was, hey, Jet fans, which NFL team do you dislike the most? And I gave all the teams in the AFC East, the Patriots, the Dolphins, the Bills, and I did include the Giants because of the geography.
Yes.
The New England Patriots dominated this poll like Trump in the primaries. I mean, it was overwhelming, 76%. And there was a time in my life in which I agreed with that because the New England Patriots and Tom Brady and Bill Belichick would not just win and beat the Jets and win the AFC East every year. They'd win Super Bowls.
Yes.
But after a while, and I dislike the Patriots, don't get me wrong. I can't stand the Patriots, don't get me wrong. The sight of them makes me cringe. And we know the Jets haven't been able to beat them since the end of 2015. But here's the difference between the Patriots and the Dolphins and why 76% of you are wrong. I respect the Patriots. I do. I respect Bill. I respect even Tom Brady. And I respect everything they accomplished. I have no respect for the Miami Dolphins because they haven't earned it. They haven't done anything.
What do you mean?
This franchise hasn't won a postseason game in 2 decades, and yet their fans talk down to us like we're the losers. We're the losers? Dude, when was the last time your franchise won a postseason game? Speak to me. When was the last time your franchise won a postseason game? So it starts there. I respect the New England Patriots and what they've accomplished. I have no respect for the Miami Dolphins. That's number one. Number two, as you know, Tiki, I don't go to a lot of games.
Not football games. You go to a lot of games, just not a lot of football games.
Correct. I enjoy the product more at home.
Yes.
I also enjoy watching multiple games at the same time. So for a myriad of reasons, I tend to go to one football game a season. And they're usually a standalone game like Friday afternoon. I was in the building. Biggest mistake of my life. I've made mistakes in life, But if I'm Cinco de Evoing, the biggest mistakes I've ever made in my life was being at Giants Stadium the day that Chad Pennington won the AFC East against Brett Favre, who could barely move up and down the field. And Dolphin fans took over our building. That happened. Wearing their dopey aqua and their Dan Marino jersey, and they were sleeping with our girlfriends.
Number 1.
Chad Pennington won a division with the Dolphins, and that game and that moment from 2008 still haunts me. So Friday afternoon at MetLife Stadium, you bet your ass I'm going to be in the building. And for all of us as Jet fans, I get what the Patriots have done to us. I get we haven't beat them since 2015. This is the franchise. This is the team you should hate the most. Because I left out maybe the biggest reason. Their fans are the worst. How are you a Dolphin fan living in New York City? Why? And Tiki, if you ever ask them, if you ever say...
Same reason that people are Cowboys fans living in New York City.
No, it's not.
Because the Dolphins won down there. And they had what was that year? 70... What was the undefeated
72?
season?
That was 100 years ago.
Okay, whatever. People like to go down to Miami. New Yorkers go to Miami. They love it. 72, yes, exactly. 72, they love the weather. They love going to the stadium because it's nice and it's warm, and they drink margaritas and it feels chill. It's like, I kind of like it down here. Hey, what happened when the pandemic happened? Half of New York moved to Florida and didn't come back. And so I think that Miami is an interesting team for you to hate, because they don't feel hateable. They haven't won anything. It's not like the Patriots, who dominated you, and by the way, still are dominating you as a Jet fan, and won multiple Super Bowls kind of through you, right? Because of you, they had a home field advantage almost every single year because they dominated their division. And you hate them less than you hate the Miami Dolphins, who haven't accomplished anything in the last 25 years, except for putting on some great uniforms and having nice weather to play in. Like, what are you talking about?
You actually nailed it. You don't even know you're nailing it when you're nailing it. I respect the Patriots. We have to respect the Patriots. I don't like them. I sports hate them. I'm not saying I love them, but I respect them. There's nothing about this franchise I respect. Jet fans, what do you respect about the Miami Dolphins?
You got to respect Dan Marino.
Okay, let's get to Dan Marino. So when you ask a Dolphin fan and you ask them, hey, especially one under the age of 50, why are you a Dolphin fan? Because let's face it, they haven't won a championship since 73. They had the perfect season in 72. They won the Super Bowl the following year. They haven't won diddly since. And to keep that in mind, the New York Knicks won a championship as frequently as the Miami Dolphins. The Knicks! The Jets are only behind them by 5 years. So they're losers. They've won nothing. But when you ask one under the age of 45 or 50, how'd you become a Dolphin fan? Like, a really good question. The Cowboy one's actually easier to answer. You grew up in the 90s. They won all the time. Emmitt Smith and Troy Aikman were badass. Of course you're a Cowboy fan. You ask the Dolphin fan why they root for the Dolphins, they give you 2 lame reasons. You ready for these 2 lame reasons?
Go ahead.
They all give the same 2 lame reasons. Number 1, I like Dan Marino. Shut up. I like Dan Marino. Dan Marino.
How could you not like? He was in Ace Ventura.
That's the one. Ace Ventura for the younger audience.
He was in Pet Detective.
Oh my God.
Finkel's Einhorn.
Oh my.
Yes.
Ace Ventura, I know, swayed people to be Dolphin fans.
Dan Marino is an all-time great quarterback, and who doesn't love Anthony's coal-fire pizza? But the guy won nothing. Nothing. So you all put your arms around Dan Marino like, oh, he made me a Dolphin fan. Shut up with that. And then the second thing, which is even lamer, is I liked the colors. Are you kidding me? You liked Aqua growing up, and you said I need to be a Dolphin fan?
It sounds like you're upset that somebody beat you in fantasy football because they picked a player based on the color of the uniform as opposed to the skill that they display on a football field.
That's lame, too.
But that's what you sound like.
I sound like
the colors are cool.
That's a reason for a New Yorker, because here's the funny thing. Loogie's going to do it. We're going to take calls, and I guarantee half the calls we take are not even going to be from Jet fans agreeing with me. They're going to be Dolphin fans defending themselves. Oh, Evan, you don't get... Shut up. I don't get it. You're a New Yorker rooting for a team from South Florida. What don't I get? What do you get? Like, why are we surrounded by Dolphin fans? Why? I get the Cowboys. Sean even could take a step back and say, look, I don't like the Cowboys. I understand it.
Yeah.
When we grew up, they won a lot.
Yes.
They were on TV all the time.
Yes.
They were cool. Like, I get it. We don't like them, but we get it. We respect them. Maybe not what they become. I get that. But we respect where they came from. What do we respect about the Miami Dolphins?
Ricky Williams.
Oh, yeah.
I'm serious. You like Ricky?
Speaking of getting high.
That's what I mean.
Awesome.
I mean, think about it. You're like, oh, who's the poster child for getting high in the NFL?
He was smoking a doobie.
Exactly.
The
Ricky
Snoop
Williams.
Dogg of football. You're
He
right.
is totally the Snoop Dogg of
The
football.
Wildcat. Like, we love that.
I mean, I'm trying to find a reason. It's Florida. Dude smokes weed. He's a baller. He's a Heisman Trophy winner, one of the greatest players ever at the University of Texas. Now he lives in Miami, and he's living the life that everybody wishes they could live. Right? So, I mean, is that not a reason?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I'm being honest. I'm not. I'm kind of
Sweet.
joking, but I'm not.
Sweet vintage touchdown song that everybody loves.
That's right.
No, those are not good reasons. Like, I get the Steelers and the Cowboys and all the other front-running teams that New Yorkers have put their arms around. But the amount of Dolphin fans, you all guys know this. Sean, you know this. You have friends who are Dolphin fans.
Yeah.
Are they not the most obnoxious friends you have?
Well, the Cowboy fans still, but the reason the Dolphin fans are is it's tough to take anybody serious when they mouth off with no championships.
Sean just did it. Tiki, did you hear what Sean said?
Yes.
These people.
But
Why
are they
we can't
mouthy?
stand? It's like the Jet fans this year, Tiki.
I don't know if I've ever thought of Miami Dolphin fans
Oh, they
as
get mouthy.
though.
Oh, they're mouthy.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because when you say, "Oh, fan base is mouthy," I think of Philadelphia, who's MFing my mother and telling me that I fumble my baby. And
No, that's just bad words. But mouthy, like, look how good we are, screw you, mouthy. They have. I hate, and this is not a knock on these two fan bases here, but it is. Jet fans and Knicks fans operate this way. They don't win anything, but yet when they talk to you about sports and their team, it's crazy.
Sean, here's where I'm going to kind of give you the olive branch on this
Yeah.
in talking about Jet fans. If we were having a Jet Giant conversation, I would totally respect and see where you're coming from. What have we done to mouth off to you? And I respect that.
No, it's not
But right
me.
now, we're talking about the Dolphins. And
Right.
here's what you have to admit. Despite the fact that they have an excellent chance to win the division this year and have an excellent chance to end this ungodly streak of not winning a postseason game, they haven't done it in over 2 decades. It's one of the most pathetic streaks in the history of sports. Even the Jets don't have a streak like that. Now, we don't have that. Last time the Jets were in the playoffs, they actually did win a postseason game. They talk to us like we're the losers. That's how Dolphin fans talk to Jet fans. I'm going to be in the building on Friday, and I'm telling you right now, they will talk to us like we're the losers. And trust me, Dolphin fans, we are losers.
give me the percentage.
I'm a loser. I think it's going to be like 60-40 Jets. I think it's going to be bad on Friday.
40.
Yeah, I do. I think it's going to be bad because, A, the Jets have been bad. I think a lot of Jet fans have sold their tickets, which is a damn shame, but I'm not going to lecture people for doing that. And I think there are a ton of Dolphin fans in this area.
And they're exciting this year.
They're very
fun,
excited.
They're fun to watch.
And they're going to talk down to us, and they haven't done anything yet. And I use the word yet because I understand you got yourself a little football team. I get that. I respect your quarterback. I defend your quarterback. I get that. But as of this moment, you haven't done a damn thing. You haven't won a postseason game in over 2 decades, Tiki, and they talk to us like we're the losers? Are you kidding me?
But they're winning right now. And they have a fun head coach.
Win a playoff
And they were
game.
just on Hard Knocks.
Oh, stop.
And
Hard
everybody
Knocks.
thinks they're amazing, especially with the offensive line coach. What's his name? What's that dude's name?
No, the linebacker coach is amazing.
linebacker coach, yes.
Their linebacker coach. See, I'm honest. I watched Hard Knocks. I did. I checked it out, the Dolphin in-season Hard Knocks. They got a linebacker coach from New Jersey. That's right, New Jersey. Went to Rutgers. This guy's such a badass. I'd hire him tomorrow to replace Robert
Anthony
Saleh.
Campanile or Campanelli?
To the Campanelli family, if you're listening, I love Anthony. I love Tony. I want him to replace Robert Saleh. The guy gave some badass speech to the Dolphins. The Dolphin fans don't deserve a guy like Tony Campanelli. All right? We deserve him as Jet fans. But until proven otherwise, they haven't done anything. And they talk down to us. So trust me, I don't like the Patriots. We never beat the Patriots. I can't stand the Patriots, blah, blah, blah. I respect them. I've got no respect for those aqua-loving Dan Marino lovers. And on Friday afternoon at MetLife Stadium, besides playing for our playoff lives, we're playing for our damn pride. Because the last thing I want to do, the last thing we want to do is walk out of our building with Dolphin fans talking trash to us. That can't happen. And that's why Friday afternoon at MetLife is the definition of a must-win game. Not just for playoff seeding and hope, but for damn pride. Now, are we going to beat the Dolphins on Friday?
Let's go, Tim Boyle.
That's a different story. I don't know how confident I am. Jets win tonight. But we got to beat that team, T. The Jets are winning, no problem. So have I made my case on why I hate the Dolphins more than everybody?
Bit. I'm just looking at that. I forgot their coaching staff. Daryl Bevell, quarterback coach, or quarterback pass game quarterback. My former running back coach, Eric Studesville, is down there as well.
Uh-oh, it's another Tiki Barber rabbit
I'm
hole.
just trying to create cases that I actually like the Dolphins just because of the staff that's down there.
Tiki, all you need to do is spend 5 minutes with a bunch of Dolphin fans, and I don't give a damn if your family is on that coaching staff. You'll hate the Dolphins.
I have friends that are Dolphins
No,
fans.
you don't. Who?
I do.
And you like them?
Of course I do.
We'll get your calls coming up, 877-337-6666. Our thoughts on this game. And do we actually like a Black Friday football game? Because we're lost in this because we're watching our team play it Friday at 3 o'clock. But this is going to be a new tradition in the NFL. They're sticking a football game on Friday at 3 o'clock on Black Friday. I mean, I got to tell you, if I wasn't taking my son to the game and the Jets weren't playing, I don't think I'd love this, Tiki, to be perfectly honest.
So one of my old running friends, Phil, he's a Dolphin fan.
Ugh.
He writes me all the time. When Zach Thomas got into the Hall of Fame, I was there with Rondé. I took a picture of me and Zach Thomas and sent it to Phil Schachter. You know who else is a Dolphin fan?
Who's that?
Nicole Snooki.
What? Is that right?
Her husband is a Dolphin fan.
Oh.
Gianni is a Dolphin fan.
Snooki's
husband.
Yeah, but you're saying Snooki's a Dolphin
No,
fan.
Snooki's husband.
Is Snooki's husband, was he on Jersey Shore?
Early. Yeah.
Early.
Yeah.
He should have his jersey card revoked. What is going on with this?
There's a lot of Dolphins.
Gianni is a Dolphin fan.
Doesn't that disgust you?
I mean, no. I don't have any hate at all
as
for
a
the
New-
Dolphin fan.
as a New Yorker,
In fact,
New
I'm learning
Jerseyer.
that I actually like the Dolphin fan because of their coaching staff. Eric Studesville is down. Ronaldo Hill is in the secondary down there. I like
Sean,
the staff.
As a fellow New... See, here's what
I was a business partner with Steve Ross when I first retired from the game.
I can't stand him either. Sean, as a Giant fan...
You're going to hate me before the day is over.
I'm already there. It was before Bad Tiki even showed up. See, Giant and Jet fans have to have this bond. We share a city, but I respect that you're a Giant fan.
We
I
got
do.
to share hate. Do you hate the Eagles also?
It's not even about
You
that.
hate the Cowboys also?
It's not about
if you're
that.
not willing to sign on for that, then I'm not signing
No,
on
but
for
we
your
hold
Dolphins
on.
hate
hate.
Philadelphia in general.
We do hate Philadelphia in general, and that's not my point. My point is we've got New Yorkers and New Jerseyers who root for teams that are out of our area.
You know
and
why?
I put up with it with certain fans. Like, I respect who cares about the Vikings with Giannotti? Who cares about the Falcons with Sal? They're meaningless teams. The Cowboys, I fully understand because of their presence. But all these other teams, I don't get it. It should annoy you, Sean, as a New Yorker.
does annoy me.
That these Jersey Shore icons root for the Dolphins?
It annoys me to no end. You grow up within an hour and a half of MetLife Giant Stadium. Root for those teams. And oh, by the way, this is why, guys and girls out there, you lie out your teeth to your kids so they don't look at the TV and go, I like teal. Ooh, there's a big Dolphin on the sideline. I like that team. You tell them your team's the greatest. They win every week. And by the time they're 6 years old, there's no going back.
Oh, crap.
All started with Flipper.
Oh, crap. I'm scared now. You
Oh,
just
stop.
put something in my head, Sean.
Uh-oh.
He's scaring me.
Why?
I'm taking my 7-year-old, an impressionable kid, to MetLife Stadium to see Jets Dolphins. What if he falls in love with teal, a Dolphin, and the Dolphins kick our ass?
Tyreek Hill goes for 90 yards.
Yeah.
He's really fast, Dada.
And when he comes home and is like, Dad, can we watch Flipper?
Yep.
Einhorn's a man.
Don't you hear those stories all the time? My dad took me to see so-and-so, and I fell in love with this. Yeah.
Anybody want my Jet Dolphin tickets? We'll get your calls next, 877-337-6666.